Daily Divine Revelation, 3 miraculous signs of heaven's answered prayer awaiting you now. In the bustling heart of the city, an air of expectancy hung thick like incense, promising something extraordinary. Sarah, a single mother, held on to faith as tightly as she clutched her beloved daughter, Lily. Just a year ago, laughter echoed in their small apartment, the echoes now muted by the sickness that stole her child's joy. As doctors delivered grim news, hope felt like a candle flickering in the wind. Yet Sarah, with a heart ablaze, stood firm, rallying family and friends to pray to St. Jude, patron of desperate cases, the very embodiment of hope in impossible circumstances. That evening, as shadows danced across their kitchen walls, 3 miraculous signs began to manifest around Sarah. In her nightly prayers, she felt a warm glow envelop her. Was it merely imagination? Or was it heavenly warmth filling her heart? The next morning, an unexpected call shattered her doubt, awakening fresh hope. A local church would host a healing vigil. Each serene crowd member, hands raised in prayer, echoed Sarah's own resolve, fueling her faith amidst the creeping uncertainties that sought to bind her, but murmurs of skepticism floated in. Friends assured her they cared, yet the quiet doubt gnawed at her resolve. Why cling to faith when science offers answers, they whispered, wanting her to step away from the veil of hope. One evening, in despair's embrace, Sarah crossed paths with Father Michael. His eyes, pools of wisdom, seemed to see beyond her soul's turmoil. Seek the signs your heart yearns for, he advised gently. Heaven works in mysterious ways. These words ignited a flicker of renewed conviction within her. Before long, emboldened, Sarah organized a communal prayer vigil at the parish. Let the community unite, she called. The night of the vigil, as candlelight flickered like stars in the dark, hearts beat in unison. But just before they began, a heart-wrenching moment occurred. An experimental treatment for Lily had failed, leaving Sarah reeling, questioning everything she believed. Desperation clawed at her heart. How can I ask for miracles when my own faith wavers? She wondered. Before she could drown in despair, an extraordinary moment unfolded. A hush fell over the congregation, a silence pregnant with expectation. Then, out of nowhere, a radiant glow enveloped Lily as she lay in the pew, fragile yet unyielding. Gasps filled the air as healing light cascaded around her. Where just moments ago stood a girl in suffering, now emerged a child surrounded by love and warmth. Hope ignited. Eyes widened in wonder. Bills of doubt unfurled as the congregation witnessed this divine intervention together. News of the miracle spread through their community like wildfire. Suddenly, jaws unhinged in awe, skepticism melted as faith reignited. But as excitement bloomed, Sarah's heart wrestled with a lingering question: was this simply a gift, or a call to a deeper understanding of suffering and faith? In the flickering candlelight of their church, anticipation buzzed in the air like bees in a blossoming garden. What profound messages lay ahead for Sarah, her daughter Lily, and their beloved parish? The atmosphere in the church hung heavy with both awe and uncertainty. Sarah's heart raced, a mix of joy and renewed responsibility settled on her shoulders. Lily, now glowing with the warmth of divine love, clutched her mother's hand, her eyes wide and sparkling. Father Michael stepped forward, his voice calm yet powerful. Tonight, we stand on sacred ground. Faith has led us to this moment. Let us reflect on what this miracle means not just for Lily, but for all of us. He paused, scanning the congregation, drawing everyone in with his steady gaze. Some bowed their heads, while others held hands, forming a circle of unity and light. Miracles are less about the outcome and more about the journey, he continued. Every challenge we face is an invitation to grow. In our suffering, we find compassion. In our trials, we discover strength. Sarah felt the heat of those words seep into her spirit. What if the miracle wasn't just for her daughter, but a message to all who gathered? The flickering candle flames reflected the glimmer of hope waking in her heart. Her thoughts raced to her friends and their skeptics' whispers. They had been so quick to dismiss her faith. But what about the love and strength that had gathered that night? As the vigil progressed, stories emerged from the congregation, testimonies of struggles, cries for help, and glimpses of their own miracles. An elderly woman recounted how her prayers had healed her broken marriage. A parent shared how their child overcame a grave illness through faith. Each story reverberated in Sarah's heart, weaving a fabric of shared experience that went beyond mere observation. It focused on beautiful redemption. Suddenly, she found herself rising. "I want to share something," she heard her voice call out, unexpected and bold. The murmurs hushed, and eyes turned towards her, curious and expectant. Her heart thundered, but she steadied her breath. "I was fearful." She glanced at Lily, beaming brightly. "But this light, this miracle, it shows me there is so much more than our pain. Together, we can embrace faith. Even when it feels like the darkness threatens to consume us, we can be vessels of love and hope." A wave of affirmation rippled through the crowd, with nods and murmured amens surrounding her. Tears streamed down her cheeks, but each drop felt like a cleansing rain, washing away doubt. As the vigil drew closer to its end, the congregation joined together, arms raised, voices lifted in prayer. With each word echoed, they delved deeper into the connection between suffering and divine grace, celebrating the unexpected blessings that had emerged from their darkest moments. But as Sarah stood there, feeling both fervor and vulnerability, a gentle voice whispered in her heart, what would this newfound faith ask of her? She pondered the question deeply. Was the miracle merely a gift, or was there a deeper calling, one that might require more than prayer alone? Would she be willing to accept it? In that charged silence, a sudden realization swept through her, a divine revelation waiting for her, eager and bright, beckoning her to take a step further. What would Sarah discover if she continued to embrace the unknown? As the congregation finished their prayers, a palpable sense of change spread through the room, hinting at journeys untold. The flickering candlelight danced in the dimness, capturing a vibrant warmth, a promise of something more. What awaited them next, as they ventured deeper into the mystery of faith? As the final prayer floated into the night, a hush enveloped the space. It was as if time had come to a standstill. Sarah remained rooted where she stood, her heart pulsing with anticipation. The moment felt charged, like a storm holding its breath, waiting to release its rain. Father Michael stepped down from the altar, his presence nearly tangible. He approached Sarah, a knowing smile illuminating his face. "You spoke well tonight, my dear. In this sharing, you've opened a door for the others. There is something special about your voice." "Thank you, Father," Sarah replied, her chest tightening with emotion. "But what if I can't carry this faith forward? What if it's just a moment, like a fleeting spark that fades away?" "Faith is not about perfection," he gently reminded her. "It's about trust, a relationship with the divine that deepens with every challenge. You are not alone in this journey." He placed a comforting hand on her shoulder, grounding her in the moment. Lily squeezed her mother's hand tighter, as if sensing the weight of uncertainty in the air. Her innocent smile shone brighter, a beacon of hope, as she whispered, "Mama, remember how brave you were tonight." Bravery. The word echoed in Sarah's mind. She took a deep breath, feeling the warm embers of courage stir within her spirit. "Yes, my sweet girl. You're right. Maybe it's time to be brave again." As the congregation began to disperse, Sarah noticed a figure lingering near the entrance, a young man, perhaps in his 20s, with a worn leather jacket. His hands were tucked deep into his pockets, but his eyes were fierce with longing. He looked as if he had been wrestling with belief, his faith in tatters. "Excuse me," Sarah said hesitantly, walking toward him. "Are you all right? You seem troubled." The young man looked up, his expression softening. "I've been struggling with so much lately, doubt, pain. I heard what you shared. It moved me. I felt so scared standing up there, but it was worth it. Faith can light the way through darkness," Sarah encouraged, her voice gentle yet firm. "Your journey is just as important." He nodded, eyes glistening with a mixture of hope and despair. "My sister passed away last year. I don't know how to keep believing. I don't want to lose faith." Sarah's heart swelled, his words resonated painfully within her. She understood that grief tangled with belief could feel isolating. "I'm so sorry for your loss. It's okay to feel lost, but know that communication with God can be both your journey and your refuge. Each step you take in faith brings light even in the shadows. Around them, the last of the candles flickered. The divine aura within the church felt like a warm embrace enveloping them. In that sacred moment, they understood suffering was a shared reality, one that united them under the wings of grace. "Thank you," he said, his voice stronger. "I want to try again. I want to find light in this darkness." "Then let's walk this path together," Sarah said, meeting his gaze. A bond forged in vulnerability began to form, preparing them for the next step of their faith journey. As they rejoined the murmuring crowd outside, somewhere new magic was stirring. The night sky glittered with stars, vast and illuminating. Each star felt like a promise, echoing the unfolding narrative of miracles, and Sarah felt a subtle stir of expectancy within her heart. What new tremors of faith would this journey unveil? As they walked together into the unknown, the path ahead was woven with divine possibility, leaving Sarah hungry for what awaited them next. Was this the beginning of something greater? The air was cool, wrapping around Sarah like a delicate shawl as she looked up at the expansive night sky. Each star gleamed with purpose, whispering of hope and promise. Her heart, still echoing with the intensity of the shared moment inside the church, began to beat to a new rhythm, a rhythm fueled by faith and fellowship. Lily tugged on her mother's sleeve, breaking the contemplative silence. "Mama, can we pray together?" A warm smile spread across Sarah's face. "Of course, my love. Let us find a quiet place." They stepped away from the gentle murmur of the crowd, seeking a space where they could connect deeper, away from distractions. They settled on a stone bench under a large oak tree, its broad branches stretching towards the heavens. The rustling leaves provided a soft soundtrack, harmonizing with their whispered prayers. "Dear Lord," Lily began, her voice innocent yet resolute. "Thank you for my friends and for Mama's courage. Please help us all feel your love." Sarah felt tears prick her eyes, but these were tears of joy. Witnessing her daughter's faith blossoming lit a fire in her heart. "Amen. And, God," she continued, "guide us in understanding this journey. Help us reach those who feel lost, just as we did tonight." As the last syllable of her prayer fell into the night, the world around them sighed. It was as if nature itself acknowledged the beauty of their shared moment. "Did you feel that, Lily?" Sarah asked, glancing at her daughter. Lily nodded, her eyes wide with wonder. "It felt warm, like a hug from God." Sarah chuckled softly, wrapped in that divine embrace. How beautifully simplistic the child's understanding was. It underscored the truth that faith often starts small, like a mustard seed, growing into something significant when nourished. Returning to the glowing area where they left the young man, Sarah felt a sense of urgency. She needed to encourage him more, to deepen the connection they had begun. Scanning the crowd, she caught sight of him, still standing by the church doors, lost in thought. "Hey!" she called, waving him over. He approached slowly, uncertainty etched across his features. "I wasn't sure if I should interrupt." "Not at all. I'd love to hear more about your story," Sarah encouraged, sensing that the spark of his faith still flickered faintly. Taking a breath, he shared, "It's just I keep thinking about what you said about finding light. I want that, but sometimes, the darkness feels so heavy. I don't know how to lift it." Sarah reached out, placing a hand on his arm. "I understand. It's hard to walk through the muck of suffering. But if we reach out, even in our darkest hours, that's where God's light shines brightest. Let us discover that light together." The sincerity in her voice seemed to soften his resolve. "You think so?" "Absolutely," Sarah replied. "Faith is a journey meant to be shared. You're not meant to walk alone." As they conversed, hope began to intertwine between them. Sarah sensed a shift within him. It was subtle, yet powerful. A quiet yet palpable acceptance of the possibility of change. Suddenly, Lily exclaimed, "Look, Mama! The stars! They're shining even brighter." Everyone turned their gaze upward, and in that moment, a meteor streaked across the sky, leaving a trail of light in its wake. Gasps of awe filled the space, and it felt like a heavenly wink, a reminder that God's presence is always more expansive than our trials. Sarah could hardly believe her eyes. Could this be a sign? A gentle nudging from heaven. As joy washed over them, the young man whispered, "I think I'm beginning to believe again." Their hearts swelling with anticipation, Sarah wondered what would unfold next in this unfolding tapestry of faith and connection. As they continued to gaze at the celestial dance above, she felt the mystery of life swirling around them, beckoning them to step further into the unknown. What new revelations awaited in the next twist of their journey? It felt like a thrilling adventure was just about to begin. The evening air shimmered with an unusual energy, as if the universe itself held its breath in expectation. Sarah could feel a tangible shift, not just within herself but among those around her. The young man, still standing close, searched their faces like they were the answers he had been seeking. "Do you really believe that light can push away the darkness?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Sarah leaned in, feeling a surge of compassion. "I've seen its power in my own life. It might not be instant, and it may not always be what we expect, but it's real. You just have to be open to it. Sometimes, the smallest flicker can illuminate the path for the journey ahead." Lily, still glowing from their prayer, chimed in, "And we can help each other find that light." Her eyes sparkled with sincerity. The young man blinked rapidly, as if awakening from a long slumber. Maybe I'm ready to try." With those words, the night's magic deepened. It felt as if a blanket of possibility wrapped around them, enveloping them in warmth. Sarah felt the weight of her own past lift ever so slightly, replaced by the joy of shared faith. "Let us start by shining for each other," Sarah suggested gently. "Tell us what has held you back. Share your burdens. Sometimes, voicing them is the first step to release." As if they were weaving a sacred tapestry, the three of them began to share bits of their lives woven together by threads of vulnerability and trust. The young man confessed to a lifetime of doubt and disappointments, each story tinged with a weary ache. But as he spoke, flickers of hope ignited in his eyes. Sarah listened intently and offered encouragement. "God can take the jagged edges of our lives and smooth them," Sarah assured him. "He delights in transforming our scars into stories of strength." With every sincere word exchanged, the space around them became charged with a holy stillness. In the heart of that sacred moment, it was clear something significant was unfolding. Lily, sensing the weight of truth in the air, reached out to hold the young man's hand. "We can be brave together," she proclaimed, her childlike enthusiasm grounding them all. They stood in a small huddle beneath the stars, united by their shared journey and dreams. In that closeness, hope surged like a soft breeze, gently stirring their souls. "Remember," Sarah added, "when you feel overwhelmed, focus on the little things. God often communicates in the whisper of a breeze, the laughter of a child, or even the brilliance of a single star." As if on cue, another shooting star zipped across the heavens, trailing light like a divine message. The three of them froze, eyes wide with wonder, each heartbeat echoing the awesomeness of the moment. "Every star holds a promise," Sarah said softly. "Each one is a reminder that we're never alone. Tonight, let us promise to seek the light together." The young man smiled softly, his face reflecting newfound determination. "I think I want to start believing in those promises again." "Then it begins here and now," Sarah declared, feeling the momentum build. "With every step we take, we'll look for the signs, the wonders. It's about opening ourselves to what God has in store." As a crisp breeze rustled the leaves above, they breathed in the moment, sealing their intentions deep within their hearts, and then, in the distance, they heard a gentle commotion, a familiar song rising from the gathering crowd. The church choir had begun to sing, their voices echoing like angels. It was a melody of hope, joy, and thanksgiving. "Oh, let us join!" Lily exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with delight that as the intoxicating sound wrapped around them, Sarah made eye contact with the young man. They both felt it that powerful urge to step forward, towards the light, what awaited them in the embrace of that song. The intertwining of lives in joyous praise held promises of transformation, beckoning them to rise up and venture deeper into faith. What deep secrets and miraculous experiences lay just beyond the horizon of their newfound hope? The allure of the unknown pulled them closer, ready to unveil divine revelations. As they stepped closer to the sound, a radiant warmth wrapped around Sarah, Lily, and the young man like a loving hand. The choir's melodic voices soared, blending with the night air in a beautiful harmony that seemed to beckon them from afar. "Can you feel it?" Sarah asked, her heart swelling with joy. "It's as if every note is calling us into a deeper connection. Each voice carries a prayer, a hope." Lily twirled in excitement, her laughter echoing like a chime. "It's like a light show. Look how the stars dance, playing along with the music." Her infectious joy breathed life and wonder into the unfolding night. The young man watched in awe as they approached the gathering, emotion flooding through him. The weight of his fears began to lift with every step he took. "I've never felt anything like this before," he admitted, awe threading through his voice. "It's like I finally belong somewhere." "You do." Sarah beamed, guiding him forward. "Here, among all of us, that sense of belonging is alive. Let the music fill you with hope, with love." As they joined the congregation, the atmosphere shimmered with an electrifying spirit. The choir's voices were a wave of faith crashing upon the shore of doubt, washing away the remnants of despair. The lyrics resonated deep within, igniting prayerful flames in the hearts of all present. "Thank you, Lord." Someone cried from the crowd, and soon murmurs of gratitude rippled through the audience. The young man felt his burdens become lighter. He could almost see shadows retreat, doubt and fear shrinking away in the presence of this collective hope. It was not just a song, it was a lifeline thrown into the turbulent seas of his soul. That he caught the eyes of Sarah and Lily, both sparkled with shared excitement. "Let us sing." Sarah encouraged, her voice filled with fervor as she lifted her arms. "Let our voices be part of this offering." They joined in, singing of grace, of love, and of the light that breaks through darkness. Each note soared higher, weaving their prayers with the divine. The energy surging around them became almost tangible, wrapping them in a sacred embrace, whispering that they were indeed meant to rise together. In those moments, something shifted deep within the young man. As the chorus enveloped him, he felt a heavenly assurance and knowing that this was just the beginning of a wondrous journey. He had stepped into a sacred tapestry of lives intertwined by faith, love, and hope, each thread celebrating God's promises. The music crescendoed, and he felt overwhelmed, tears brimming in his eyes. They were not tears of sorrow but of awakening, a release of the burdens he had carried alone for far too long. He whispered a silent prayer, echoing the offerings of his heart. "Help me become who you made me to be," he breathed, fully surrendering in that moment. As the last notes rang through the night, a soft hush fell over the crowd. A wise elder stepped forward, his voice steady and warm. "Tonight, we've glimpsed the extraordinary power of unity in faith. Each of you is called to be a light bearer. Don't hide from your calling, let it shine and transform not just your lives but those around you." The young man felt his pulse quicken. What if he truly stepped into this calling? What if this was the moment everything began to change? With renewed courage, he locked eyes with Sarah and Lily. "I want to share what I've discovered," he said, heart pounding with possibility. "But what does it mean to truly shine?" The question hung in the air, a beautiful thread waiting to be woven through their journey. What steps would lead them into this divine adventure? What revelations awaited them just out of sight, yet within reach as they embraced the light? As the last echoes of the choir faded into the evening, the air grew thick with a divine expectancy. The wise elder's words settled among the crowd like seeds dropped onto fertile ground. There was a stir of excitement, a silent promise that tonight was not just another night, it was a pivotal moment. The young man's heart raced as he considered Sarah's and Lily's expressions. Their faces mirrored his own, an intoxicating blend of eagerness and reverence. What does it mean to truly shine? His question lingered, inviting a surge of wonder into the stillness. "You shine by being true to yourself and to God," Sarah said, her voice soft yet assured. "It's about walking with purpose, allowing that light to illuminate your path and touch others." Her words hung in the air like a gentle breeze filled with sunlight. Lily chimed in, "It's like being a candle in the dark. Even a little flame can flicker brightly against the shadows." She demonstrated this with a dance, her arms stretching wide as if to embrace the very night. "Imagine how radiant we can be when we all light up together." The young man felt a warmth radiate from deep inside him. He understood, in a way he hadn't before, that shining wasn't about being perfect, it was about authenticity, vulnerability, and a willingness to share his heart. "But how do I let that light shine?" he asked, his voice tinged with the weight of his newfound realization. "By serving others," the elder interjected, his eyes twinkling with wisdom. "When you offer love, you create ripples that reach farther than you can imagine. It's not about grandeur, it's about the small acts of kindness that echo in eternity." As he spoke, the crowd seemed to swell with energy, a collective heartbeat synchronized in hope. They exchanged glances, spirits buoyed by an unspoken promise to carry this light beyond that moment. "Let us share what we're grateful for," Sarah proposed, her enthusiasm catching on like wildfire. She glanced around, inviting the others with her beaming smile. A man stepped forward, his voice shaking with emotion. "I'm grateful for this community. It shows me I'm not alone." Others chimed in, one after another, expressing their gratitude. Each acknowledgement was like a prayer lifted up into the night. The young man listened, soaking it all in, feeling the warmth of shared connection. Each story was a thread weaving their hearts together, reminding him that in unity, they could shine so much brighter. "You know," he said, finding courage among the shared stories, "I want to bring this light back to my life. I've been carrying darkness for far too long." With that admission, the crowd fell still, gazes resting on him. "Sometimes, it's through our struggles that others find hope," the elder said gently. "Your willingness to be vulnerable is itself a light. Every challenge you face can be a stepping stone for someone else." Moved by his words, the young man realized that shining his light didn't mean ignoring his struggles but inviting others to journey with him through them. It was in sharing his story, the good and the difficult, that he could connect and offer hope. As they stood together in the deepening night, he wondered about the journey ahead. "What if I carry this light into the world?" he mused aloud, the question rippling through the crowd. "Then you will see wonders unfold," Sarah smiled, her joy infectious. "The adventure of faith goes on, and we walk it as one." With each heartbeat, excitement buzzed in the air like a promise yet to be fulfilled. What awaited them out there, beyond the comfort of their newfound community? What divine encounters would illuminate the path ahead? As the stars twinkled above, they all felt it. The evening was not just the end of a gathering but merely the beginning of a journey saturated with divine possibility. The young man stood there, the cool evening air wrapping around him like a comforting embrace. He could feel the anticipation pulsating in the hearts of those gathered around him. Each person carried their own burdens, yet together, they glimmered with possibilities, united in a shared faith that felt electric. What does it look like to carry this light into the world? He pondered, the question igniting a spark of wonder in the group. Sarah's eyes lit up at the opportunity to share her thoughts. "It's all about our actions, how we choose to show up for one another," she exclaimed. "It can be a simple smile to a stranger, a listening ear to a friend, or a helping hand to someone in need. We can ignite a spark wherever we go." Lily's enthusiasm bubbled forth as well. "And don't forget the joy. When we bring light into other lives, we fill our own hearts, too." She hopped in excitement, her spirit buoyant. "We're like stars in the night sky, each of us unique but together creating something beautiful." The crowd shared her laughter. The atmosphere grew lighter, laughter rising with the stars. The young man felt a tidal wave of hope wash over him. They were all ready to embark on this journey of shining brightly. "And what if we stumble?" he questioned, a shadow of doubt passing briefly across his face. What if I fail to carry this light? The elder, sensing his uncertainty, stepped closer. His wisdom felt like a warm blanket. You will stumble, he stated softly but firmly. It's part of the journey. But remember, light is often born from darkness. Your struggles will not define you, rather, they will shape your testimony. It's through those very moments of falling that you'll shine even brighter when you rise. The crowd murmured softly in agreement, hearts swelling with empathy. The young man realized that he didn't have to be perfect to share his light, he just needed to show up and be real. Think of the times you learned best, he reflected, feeling more grounded. It was usually when you faced challenges, wasn't it? Absolutely. Sarah replied. Each of us has a story filled with ups and downs, but they all come together to manifest our own special light. It's encouraging to know we don't walk this path alone. The elder nodded. Your authenticity invites others to witness God's grace. Your story can be a beacon for those who feel lost in their darkness. There was a moment of silence as they absorbed the weight of his words, pondering how such simple truths could change lives. Let us make this a commitment, Lily suggested. As a community, let us lift each other up. Let us promise to shine our lights together in every corner of our lives. Nods of agreement swept through the group, a ripple of purpose igniting their spirits. In that moment, the young man felt something shift within himself. He was no longer just a witness to this gathering of souls, he was an integral part of it. The very essence of divinity stirred in him, awakening a fire that he didn't know he had. As the gathering began to disperse, the promise of what was to come hung in the air. They carried the evening's light deep within, ready to share it in their daily lives. What if our acts of kindness lead to something unexpected? He whispered to himself, excitement bubbling in his chest. What if we are the miracle we've been waiting for? The night may have been settling, but his heart raced with the thought of divine encounters waiting just around the next corner. Tomorrow, he breathed, filled with expectation, is the first day of our radical journey. A gentle breeze rustled around them, carrying the shared dreams into the starry skies, all aware that their commitment to shine was just the beginning. What miraculous signs would greet them as they ventured out tomorrow? What answers to their prayers awaited them just beyond the horizon? The dawn broke softly, painting the sky in hues of gold and rose. The young man awoke with anticipation buzzing in his chest, the promise of a new day teasing his soul. Each ray of sunlight was like a gentle reminder of the light they had all committed to carry. He slipped out of bed, heart racing with hope. What will today reveal? He wondered, feeling the morning air wrap around him in a tender embrace. As he walked through the village, he noticed the whispers of life waking around him. The laughter of children playing, the smell of fresh bread drifting from the bakery, neighbors greeting each other with smiles. Each moment felt like an invitation to shine. He thought back to their gathering and the unity they had shared. His first stop was at Mrs. Haley's cottage, a sweet old woman known for her warmth. He remembered her sigh of loneliness at the gathering, a flicker of sadness in her eyes. Today, he would bring her a few flowers from the market. He picked some daisies on the way, marveling at their simple beauty. As he approached her door, he paused. What if she didn't want to see anyone? What if he was intruding? But the memory of the elder's words flooded back, lighting a spark of courage in his heart. It's our actions that matter. I can't let fear keep me from shining. With newfound resolve, he knocked. Who is it? Came her soft voice, tinged with surprise. It's me, your neighbor. I brought you some flowers. Her door opened slowly, and the light that flooded from inside made his heart swell. Her eyes widened, and the corners of her mouth turned up in a grateful smile. Oh, how lovely. You're such a sweet boy. Just as they exchanged the simple gifts of presence and kindness, laughter echoed from behind him. He looked to see Sarah and Lily with two eager children. They carried bags bursting with treats for their neighbors. They beamed with joy, their excitement infectious. Come on, everyone. Sarah called out, twirling a bright ribbon in her hands. "Let us spread some light today." The young man joined them, the four of them now a lively troop, moving from door to door, sharing laughter and small acts of kindness. With every smile offered, every hand held, every story shared, the group felt the warmth between them grow. And there was magic in those moments. A teenager who had been struggling in silence opened up about his struggles, tears flowing as the young man offered him words of encouragement. A mother, weary from her busy schedule, was refreshed by their spontaneous visit and the laughter the children brought. "See how it works?" Lily pointed out, eyes shining. "Every person we touch, we light up their world. It's like we're lighting candles one by one, creating a blaze of hope. We are the miracle." As the sun began to set, casting a warm golden glow over everything, they returned to the park where they first gathered. The young man stood in awe of the beauty of their day. "What if," he began, voice trembling with emotion, "this is just the beginning? What if each kindness opens the door to something bigger?" The warmth in the crowd rippled, hearts beating together in recognition of potential. Sarah looked at him intently. "What do you think is waiting for us tomorrow?" A sense of wonder enveloped them as they pondered, the horizon calling them with mystery and divine possibilities. What greater blessings might follow their path of light? What unfolding wonders awaited them in their journey? As the first stars began to twinkle in the deepening sky, a quiet anticipation settled over the village. Each shared smile, every act of kindness stained the day with golden memories, and among the vibrant energy of love, Sarah, Lily, and the young man now a dear friend stood poised for what lay ahead. Their hearts pulsed with promise, a chorus of hope echoing through the streets. "I feel different," the young man admitted, glancing at Sarah, her eyes alight with encouragement. "Today was more than I expected. It felt like I was stepping into something I had been missing." "That's the magic of sharing our light," Sarah replied, her voice laced with warmth. "It opens doors not just for us but for others too." Lily, with her innocent wisdom, added, "And when we share, we discover more about ourselves. It's like digging for treasure." She beamed, bouncing on her little feet. As shadows stretched longer, they made their way back to the church, energized by divine possibilities and the day's beautiful revelations. Treading the familiar path, they felt the air change subtly around them. More than ever, they sensed the depth of connection that bound them, this divine thread woven by those moments of service, laughter, and vulnerable sharing. Upon entering the church, they noticed the flickering candlelight casting soft shadows across the once bustling space. The familiar aroma of incense intertwined with the exhilarating buzz of hope, it felt sacred. Suddenly, Father Michael appeared, his expression warm yet earnest. "You three have been busy," he observed, a knowing smile playing at the corners of his lips. "It seems your light is spreading beautifully." "Today was life-changing," the young man confessed. "I didn't just share my struggles, I found a family of believers willing to walk beside me." Father Michael nodded, eyes betraying the pride he felt for them. "That is the essence of community. Miracles are born from shared journeys and the courage to lift one another." As if feeling the weight of his words, the congregation began to gather, murmurs rising as spirits intertwined. They took their places, and an electric joy filled the air, reminding them all that this moment was a significant turning point, a reminder of God's ever-present grace in their lives. "Let us share," Father Michael suggested, inviting them to reflect on the day. Sarah began, her voice steady with conviction. "Today, we realize that carrying light isn't just about our individual struggles, it's about uplifting each other. It's what being part of a community means." "I felt the same," chimed in the young man, spirits buoyed by mutual faith. "With each person we reached out to, I could feel pieces of my heart mending. We are stronger together." They shared more stories, each one a brushstroke painting a picture of unity, a reminder that miracles were happening among them. Every tale echoed the dynamic energy set into motion. Hope painted a vivid tapestry amidst uncertainty and pain. As the evening wore on, they invited others to contribute, layers of stories intertwining, each voice contributing to the divine symphony of love and resilience. Slowly, the elder from the gathering stepped forward. "Let us not forget that every miracle comes with responsibility," he urged, voice resonating softly yet profoundly. "We have been graced with the light, now, we must commit to carrying it forward, lighting paths for others who still linger in the shadows." The congregation absorbed his message, hearts swelling with a shared sense of duty. Lily raised her small hand excitedly. "We can do it together. Let us create a day. A day when we invite the whole village to join us in sharing light." Cheers held the air, anticipation bubbled like a gentle stream. "Yes!" Sarah exclaimed, excitement coursing through her. "Let us organize an event, a day for sharing acts of kindness and stories, spreading our light beyond these walls. We can invite everyone to participate." With hearts lit, together they began making plans. Soon the sanctuary overflowed not just with voices but with purpose. Each idea planted a seed that could burst into life. The young man squeezed the hands of Sarah and Lily as determination spread among their friends, a sense that they were embarking on a most sacred journey. Every intention, every action culminated into something magnificent, but this was only the beginning. As the congregation prepared to disperse, Father Michael delivered the closing prayer, heart full, lips forming words of gratitude for the miracles shared that evening. The air crackled with expectancy as if the heavens themselves leaned in closer, ready to witness the unfolding of their commitment to spreading kindness. And amidst that energy, Sarah felt her heart swell. She understood that hope had transformed into purpose, a grace she would nurture within her soul. A longing rose within her. Together, let us carry this promise. Together, we can build a beacon of light in our community. As they stepped outside into the night, cradled by a blanket of stars, they realized that they were not just shining, they were illuminating pathways, healing others, and weaving a miracle larger than themselves. The young man gazed upward, his heart finally at peace. He felt the warmth of the community encompassing him, each act of kindness reverberating like light in a dark world. He took a deep breath, ready for the journey ahead, determined to embrace every moment of divine potential, and as the first rays of dawn caressed the horizon, they stood firm, hearts alight with the promise that they would not just witness miracles, they would be miracles. Now is the time to embody the light. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive faith stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help this message grow. Comment your reactions and testimonies about the ending, sharing your heart's journey, and don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation. Only true servants of God understand the importance of supporting this channel through these actions. Shine your light brightly.